After finishing up a good game, let's move on to something else. Unfortunately, it is not Streets of Rage because I had some technical difficulties. Let's move on to a more vehicle related game. Super hang on. You gotta hang on to your bike super hard or you'll be flying super long. Let's get the track in Africa and take a soundtrack worthy of it. So what do you do in this game? Nothing much. You see, it's a pretty basic arcade-like racing game. Gotta make through the track you choose by going through the checkpoints. Make sure you don't hit anything and don't run out of time before you reach the checkpoint, else you're done for. I imagine a lot of coins have been lost to that fucking game. Yeah, this is my first fall. No worries. I can imagine that a lot of coins have been lost to the arcade machines of this game. But I would not be surprised. This is a pretty fun and addicting game once you get into it. You see, the simplicity of it is that you just gotta get to the checkpoint, like that. You get extra time to play. If you can beat the entire course, you'll get a lot of points. Some kind of reputation maybe. It'll just look cool, because this, by all means, it's not the easiest things you can do. I'll try to explain as best as I can because I can't remember the most of this. So basically, you hold B. This is a Sega Genesis version, by the way. You hold B to accelerate. Once you reach 280 kilometers, you can hold C at the same time to do a turbo. It lets you go faster, but it also makes sure that whenever you want to do a turn, it's gonna be a little bit harder. You see, if you turn too hard, you'll start to slide. And that basically means you ain't going nowhere. Like that. I should have fucking moved to the left, but no, I started sliding instead, and I almost hit that bird sign. When you're sliding, you barely move to the side you want to go. So just let go of that turbo. Ah, fuck me. Well, I'm not beating Africa right now. Good, I always wanted to show off some, well, all of the aspects of the games anyway. This is what happens when you run out of time. Just a simple game over, and you get a recap on the score. Simple, but we're not gonna use it. Made in 1989, it seems. A pretty fine game. Just racing. Well, not really racing. These opponents are pretty pointless. The only reason they are here is to make sure that you would have a hard time. Because you can hit them. And every time you hit them, well, you're just gonna drift a little bit on the road, lose some speed, and maybe some time too. Basically, you just gotta get to the end of the track as fast as you can. I've seen some videos. My, some people can really do these tracks without any problems. The expert track was beaten by someone in about 10 minutes or something. I think that's as much time as you'll actually spend on that track, considering it's the longest. But he did show some pretty good talent there. And he was playing the arcade version, not the Sega Genesis one. Avoid hitting objects. They will make sure you fall and you will lose some time. Although you can't really lose anything here. You don't have a life bar or anything. But every time you get hit, you have to endure this little animation, like this little cutscene, where it shows other opponents zooming by you as you're trying to get back up on your bike. It can be quite aggravating if you're trying your best to beat the damn course. I can assure you that. The tracks are also pretty interesting. Like, each track is supposed to represent a certain part of the world, and you are traveling through different countries as well. Right now I took the junior track. It's basically driving around Asia. Not exactly sure what town they're in right now. Maybe they're in China. Who knows? I guess from the amount of skyscrapers they have. But it could be just about any place. Using turbo here is imperative. It is possible to reach the end, to reach every checkpoint, but it's not gonna be easy without that turbo. Because most of the time you're just going to be too slow. Like on these turns, you need to slow down. You don't want to slide, and you certainly don't want to hit any of these signs or light posts or anything else that might be there. And you definitely do not want to get off the road. That makes you go even slower. For fuck knows what reason. Some kind of weird greyish ground we're driving on. Shit, got 10 seconds. Gotta reach that checkpoint. Straight patches of road will be your best friends ever, because you can turbo through them real fast. Not like these goddamn curves. They will always be your enemy. You don't know how many times I managed to bash my skull into things which are on this fucking road. Fuck the tree. I'm only going to show off the tracks. Well, I'm only here to show off the tracks, but they are. I'm not going to try and beat them. I'm only here to show what the game is all about. They're not here to do a full blown out let's play of this. This is a fucking racing game, in a way. They're racing against the clock. I lost. Well, I got to stage 5 of Asia. That's a good thing. Every time you lose, you end up in the main menu screen. There's nothing you can do about it. Oh, and every time you choose a track, you can take a different soundtrack to accompany you throughout the journey. I think that's a pretty neat thing. Let's say you want to go through Africa with a Winning Road soundtrack to feel like you're accomplishing something. Or expert mode with the same thing. I think Winning Road is the best piece of music in this game. The other tracks are pretty okay. I put them on sometimes for a little variety. But to tell you the truth, soundtrack isn't the strongest point of this game. Neither is the graphics, really. We all could probably tell at least one example of a game that has much better graphics and much better music. Without Sonic series, of course. But this game, it's probably here just to tell us that music and graphics ain't everything. It's the gameplay that's the core element. And seeing how everything is just fine here, I don't know, I just keep finding myself interested to keep playing this game, even though I can't beat it. I only beat an African course recently, and that was my first time, I believe. I always would get stuck on some part, because the damn objects would keep getting in my way. Was that Morobor or Maribor? No, Moro Bear. What the fuck? Some kind of a weird parody on Marlboro. Damn, I can't tell these names. Fuck me. Shit. The controls of this game are pretty good actually, although it is really difficult to explain how the control feels like. Well, let's try to put it this way. If you're playing this with an Xbox 360 controller, using the D-pad of course, you won't find it too difficult to control the bike. It's responsive enough to make sure that it gets you going where you need to whenever you need to. And it's not stiff or anything. No, it always feels like you're really controlling the bike. Somewhat. Although this is because we're in the arcade mode where you get the best bike to drive with. There's apparently a password which lets you get an even better bike for the arcade mode, but to tell you the truth, I tried it and there wasn't a whole lot of a big difference. Maybe it turned a little bit faster, but that's about it. I can't tell the difference. I wonder where we are right now. This is America after all, maybe you know. The damn Americans. Maybe it's the mountains, like Cordilleras or some shit. Nah. Who cares, really? You can also use A to brake, but that's not gonna be very useful for the most of the time anyway. I only find it useful when I really need to get out of the fucking sides of the road on the curves. Fuck. Didn't we see that sign before in Asia? The one with the girl? Seems like she's popular. Well, we lost here. Might as well do one more. The expert track. I keep stuttering for some reason. The expert track, of course, is in Europe. I suppose it's because the curved roads that we have around here. But I really can't put my finger on it. Why is this the expert track? I would imagine when it's either Asia or America that would be the expert track. Maybe, mainly because of the terrain that's in these regions. But Europe? Why Europe? Who cares, really? But it's interesting that we managed to put in some key locations of each country. Like in Europe, we're in Paris, you can see the Eiffel Tower. Or in America, we could see, I think that was the Empire State Building. I can't remember in which city it was. Los Angeles maybe, or New York? Nah, who cares? It's where it belongs, that's all that matters. It's certainly worth giving this game a try. Just to see how good you are at going through the damn checkpoints and surviving the damn tracks. I can assure you for one, I'm not gonna beat this one either. I didn't play this game as much as the other ones that I still have in store. Mainly because I really fucking hated how I would always keep hitting things on the sides of the roads. I thought it was quite unfair of the game. Yeah, like I said, lost Europe on stage 2. Damn, I suck. But before we move on, let's check out the password. Oh, motherfucker! This is another reason why you might hate this game. Why in the holy mother of fuck do we need this long of a password? Why? This is fucking unbelievable. Luckily, you don't have to use it most of the time. It's only here if you want to cheat. Because I've never seen the game giving you a password if you want to continue something. And another good thing, all of these letters and numbers have different colors, so it kinda helps you for your eyes if you don't like looking at the same color all the time. If you get eye strain or something, a little color variety is a good thing. However, I would have preferred that the password was a little bit shorter than this, like 5 digits maximum. Oh well, what you gonna do? So the next game we're going to do will be Flintstones for Sega Genesis, cause I just remembered it, and it has some bullshit that needs to be seen. See ya till then. Wow, this video was so fucking short.